Okay, and we are live. So, warm welcome to each and everyone. Hello. This is Phil from Let Us Talk It. So, we are welcoming you to a new Wednesday. And as mentioned from the previous Wednesday last week, we will be bringing you two new topics that you'll be fascinated about. And this is this the speakers that we invited today are such great speakers and very fancy about sharing what they have, especially the knowledge and the experience they have gathered through the years in their line of business or their work. So it's very great that they have accepted the invitation that they wanted to join in today and join in this initiative of giving back to the community through free knowledge sharing. So, just a little info. This is like a company behind this Let Us Talk It webinar is Cogent Integrated Business Solutions. So, they're an IT company based in Detroit, Michigan, and they have offices in Spain and India as well. And yes, they thought of giving back to the community, and the best way to do it is through free knowledge sharing because you cannot take away anything that someone has learned from the other or from any form of knowledge source. Definitely, it stays. So that's the best way to impact the community. So here, we are doing this Let Us Talk It webinar. Instead, we call this one Zipinar because we try to zip in two topics in one session. So that's to lessen the time consumed because everyone's busy, but to maximize the information being shared into one session. So again, my name is Phil, and I'll be introducing to you the first topic that we ought to share to you today, and our guest speaker has prepared. So the first topic would be revolutionizing work-life balance. So harnessing AI for healthier living and greater productivity. So a short overview about this session will help us to discover how AI can revolutionize work life balance by automating tasks and saving time by drawing from real world experiences and insights shared at Microsoft Global Ignite Conference. So, with this session today together, we will explore practical strategies for saving time through AI usage and turning that reclaimed time into healthy living habits and a productive work environment. And to share this topic, is very passionate about this part of the knowledge is Davy McKin. And currently, she is a leadership coach, a business owner, a nonprofit founder, and global technology HR TD consultant. And with this being a global technology or working at a global technology organization where she leads like innovative initiatives to embrace AI and enhance productivity, she earned an invitation to present at the global Microsoft Ignite conference last November. So we are very pleased that she have decided to join us today and share her experiences and her knowledge as well. So let's welcome Davy for the first topic we have today. Hi, how are you today?
Hi, Phil. Thank you so much. I am happy to meet everyone and anyone who might dive in to check this presentation out later. You know, as a leader, I know that every project is our greatest asset in every project is our people, right? And when our people have a healthy work life balance, well, they're more effective. They feel better doing it and they thrive. So I would ask you in the next few minutes that we talk together is to think about how you might thrive in 2025. I'm hanging on to that little saying. Someone said it last week, and I'm like, I love that. Because truly, we know that to get the best out of anything we're doing, people have to feel good. And when we have an effective work life balance, we do feel better. So I want you to think about how you can harness AI in getting greater productivity and living a healthier life. If you're like me, you're probably doing some things today, but I imagine you're also like a lot of people I talk to, that the first time I bring up adding something to their healthy living lifestyle or increasing their productivity, it's all about time. So I want to share a few things that I do with AI, the minimal things you can do, not get into the grand scale of talking about agents that we have today or how we can increase innovation through technology, but how we can do it as human beings using it positively is what I want to talk to you about. My love of AI tools like ChatGPT and Microsoft's Copilot started over a year ago. I was early to be a fan. And now we are learning about these other ways that we can use AI. But even at the minimal, if we used it to increase automation and to be more innovative, we're going to be more effective in our lives. In this journey that started for me over a year ago, it was with the company that I worked for during the day. So outside of having my own consulting business and a small nonprofit and volunteer work, I work at an amazing global tech firm, and they decided over a year ago to adopt Copilot with Microsoft. They provided an opportunity to not only launch, but to help other people in changing their mindsets for how they adopt Copilot. You know, there are still people today, and maybe some of you, that are apprehensive, a little fearful. But I say instead of pushing away, let's invite in and let AI help us to be the very best we can be. Some of the things that I've helped people to do to change their mindset is to realize value. The value they've realized is through increased impact. Who doesn't want to make an impact in your life? No matter what kind of work you do or your engagement with your family, you want to make an impact. You want it to be memorable. And how about increasing productivity? If you're a business owner or a team leader on this call right now, I think you're probably setting goals for 2025. And I gotta believe that there is something about productivity that you're talking about. Well, increased utilization is what can get us there. Through the work that I have done, is starting a community. When you have a community, you share information. So I work to create a co-pilot community of practice. With this community of practice, we realize metrics and percentages of these three items. How about 97% utilization? You know, anytime I talk to business leaders and I mention 90% utilization from adopting AI for day-to-day usage, that's impressive. Oh, I think it is. And I think you will too. Because look at productivity, 70% increase and also impact at 75%. Now, look, this isn't me making up some numbers. I didn't just throw them up here on the slide because Phil said, hey, get some metrics, girl, right? This is real deal. This is what earned me an invitation to speak at Ignite. In case you're not aware, last year, Ignite in November is Microsoft's global conference, one of the largest global conferences in the world. I'm proud to have had that conversation with people and tell them more about what they can do. Because here's the thing, I outlined our usage to supported benefits. So let's talk about some of those benefits. The things that people talked about was information retrieval. And I earned this silver hair, so you know I got some years on me. And those years, remember, when the internet was new, people were skeptical. This internet, it ain't lasting. Well, we know better than that today, don't we? But some people are still saying the same thing with AI. And I got to tell you, if you're working in the tech world, it's staying, and AI is going to be bigger than ever. So we got to pay attention to it now. So why not use it for our personal lives? Information retrieval, 75% of users said it saves them time to quickly get the information they're looking for. 64% said they spend less time processing emails. Most people I talk to, emails are necessary, but man, can they be hard to keep up with, right? So why not use it to help you to stay up to date? And then this idea of the first draft speed, increasing your speed to get that first draft completed. Look, I also read on the socials, right? And I have read those conversations where people are like, well, I'm afraid to use it too much. I don't want to lose me. And I'm like, okay, but why do you think that's a thing? I don't want to lose the goodness of who I am either, but I do want to accentuate it. And I do want to use it to help me to get to goodness faster. So we can celebrate these metrics, but also break it down a little bit. So, what are some practical AI strategies that I consider on a day to day to not get overwhelmed with the bigger picture? Maybe just realizing what I can do on a day to day so that I can have a better work life balance. How about personally using it for that research? Here's what I want you to think about. Have you ever done an internet search and you got back links that required you to sign up for a membership and join before you can even read the article? Have you ever had that? Yeah, me too. And that's frustrating. I want to read that, but I don't want to join. Or maybe my budget doesn't allow me to join that one today. And how about getting back links that are, I don't know, a little sketchy or a little scammy? That's a concern for all of us today. But asking AI and what you want it to return for you in that research, it can help you to get those out of the way. You've already saved time. You don't have to scroll and scroll and scroll through the page and find the right ones. It can help you get there faster. That saves me tons of time. Time that I can then use to spend on, I don't know, time with my family. I have two amazing grandkids. They're toddlers, they're twin boys. And man, I love spending time with them. How about you? What would you spend time if you could use and get that time back by using AI for some of these things that could save you time? Let me give you one more on this. How about that, where I said no blank page, right? Here's where this idea came from in working with some of my vendor partners. You get an idea. Maybe some of you have it now as you're working into 2025. You've talked to your leader or you have your own for your business. Where do I start? Or how about this? Has anyone else already done this? Could I learn from someone else's journey? Most definitely. So why not allow AI to help me get there? Save me some time. Ask it, what's already been done on this topic? What am I missing? Or hey, is this even a good idea? Getting you started will help you on your journey to save time and maybe direct you differently than you thought about before. These are all the things that I like to talk to people about on a regular basis to save time. So, hey, let's get to the bottom line here, right? How much time do I save? How much time does my community save? Well, they have shared with me, we're in agreement with this, that on average, it's an hour a day. Let me say that again. On average, it's an hour a day. All right. That's big. That's like 7 hours a week, over 200 hours a year. Now, we all could talk about not having enough time. And typically, when we can't get that work life balance, is because we are struggling with time. I just need more. And I wish right now I could just hand it to you. But that is what I'm doing, isn't it? In the tech world, we call it reclaim time. Getting back that time. And imagine right now, let me ask you this question. Please put in chat. What would you do if you got this hour a day, right? If you had this reclaimed time, what would you do with it? Extra hour. Now, don't say work more. Oh, okay. If that's what you have to put, you got to put it. But I'd like you to really think about what we're talking about here. Work-life balance. What would you do if you had an extra hour above and beyond everything else? What would you do? Please put that in chat for me. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what it's done for me. Oops, went too fast there. So I've increased self-care, and I got to tell you why this is critical. In our world today, we all hear people say, and you've probably said it yourself, when someone asks you to do something, I'm so busy. I'm too busy. I'm busy, busy, busy. And that's okay. Busy is good. Busy needs to be focused and effective. But if you're so busy that you can't slow down enough, because for me, when I slow down, I love to cook. Right? I absolutely love it. And I got to tell you, I'm pretty good at it too. Been doing it for years. I like to cook and explore food from other cultures, some of you from across the world, right? And I love to get together with my family and friends and break bread, have a meal together. That warms my soul. That is work-life balance that gives me goodness to do more and be more effective. And I live in the mountains of Colorado. And although there's snow on the ground right now, yeah, there is. All right. I love to hike. getting out and getting some good vitamin D. Mm, that's some good balance in your life that's going to help you to be more effective, be more productive. So, what's on your list that you would add for your reclaimed time? If you got that hour back a day, what would you do? Time for family, friends. You see, I got some pictures of those furry family members in there. The one that's looking at you like, hey, are you going to take me out? Are we going to get a walk? Right? Because it's important in our life. So, what I'm saying is, as much as we can get this reclaimed time back and maybe invest more in a project you have going on, and that's fine. What if you made sure that you got that reclaimed time back and you used it to have more work-life balance and time for things that matter? All right. So I've said a lot about that, but at the end of the day, what's the differentiator in making it real? Not just talking about it, actually committing to it. So that's what I want to ask you to do, is make a commitment with me here today. Because here's the thing. It's not just about saving the time and getting that reclaimed time back. It's about redirecting it to what truly matters. So I asked you before, if you got an extra hour in your day, what would you do with it? So now I'm asking you, if you didn't put something in chat, put it in there now and make a commitment and say, this is what I'm going to do. And if you're not watching this where you have chat available, then grab your phone, your device, or I don't know, a piece of paper and a pen, go old school, okay? And write it down. Write it down and tell yourself, say to yourself, I'm going to do this. All right. So how do we stay redirected? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because I've got 3 things that I want to share with you, right? First thing is to really think about prioritizing with purpose. What does that look like? Well, let me give you just a little example, because we don't have that much time and I don't want to cut into my presentation partner's time here today. So let me give you an example what that might look like. Someone asks you to do something, and there's someone that, you do like doing things with, but it clicks in your mind, uh-oh, this doesn't align with my priority plans. What if you didn't say yes? Or what if you said, hey, you know what? Let me think about that. And you went back and you thought about it and you reminded yourself of your goal. And if it doesn't fit, then you don't agree to it. That your daily actions stay with your priorities. Now, that can sound hard. I know it's hard to say no to some people. Or maybe you redirected them to do it with you. What if your goal was to get out and do a hike around the neighborhood and you asked them, hey, would you go with me? Or they're not where you are and you plug in. I've got those awesome pods, right? I put my pods in and we do a talk and a walk and we both commit to it. All right. Number 2, schedule self-care like a meeting. So no matter what that self-care time is, maybe you have a partner in your life and you all have said, we need to spend more time together, and you have a tough time getting there. Well, you've gotten this reclaimed time from using AI more effectively. So now both of you can commit to spending that time together. You block it in your calendar and you do not dismiss it. Okay, if an emergency occurs, dismiss it. But pending all of that, you stick to it and you say, we're doing this and we're doing it now. And hey, the last thing I put here, right, is measure that success by fulfillment, not just productivity, right? It feels so good when you get to that work-life balance. You're spending more time on things that are important and matter. So measure that. Actually slow down and have a conversation. Hey, in fact, why not connect with me on either LinkedIn or on my site, savvydavvy.com. It's my new website. I'm pretty excited about it. I have a contact page there. Maybe you want to set up doing more of that, or you want to learn more from me. Now, you can do that today. So again, just some food for thought. I don't know if there's any questions, or Phil, if you have any questions, or my partner that's on here with me, any thoughts or ideas, but I just wanted to share a little food for thought and get people to really think about how to use AI for the goodness of who you are, get that reclaimed time back, and focus on a work life balance in 2025. Remember what I said, thrive in 2025. Let's do some of that together. All right. Thank you.
All right, that's very inspiring. I've actually placed there myself. So like reclaimed time can be used on like recreational things. Maybe like you have some artistic side, so you can put in that time. Like maybe because like doing some few crafts and arts, like it's not very like it's time consuming, right? So
Mhm.
like it
I also love on here, Phil. I see someone, actually, I think you put about vacation. Is that you?
yes, yes.
Okay, so one of the conversations I've had with our community is I've had folks, really go, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to get so behind. I take a vacation." And I'm like, "Okay, that's why we use AI for that." So you set it up that when you get back, you say, "Summarize what I missed, right? Tell me what the priorities are." Instead of you spending all that time flipping through, I literally have people in today's world that don't take vacation because they're fearful of that, right? And so that's another way that you can give you peace of mind on vacation because you're going to use AI to help you catch up when you get back. So love it, love it. Thank you.
No, it's awesome. I mean, I love the overall frame of reclaiming time and then utilizing it for other things. Just one point on the vacation, not only coming back and then summarizing, even to plan the vacation. I mean, all
Most
of us
definitely.
know that it takes such a long time to book the ticket, find out what to see, what not to see, and all that. AI can solve that in quick few clicks, saying, okay, these are the places which people have seen. Oh, if you're interested in this, your family loves this, then you go should definitely touch on these cities or whatnot, right?
I
You can
love
just
that.
give a frame. So it can be
Yes.
used in different ways. Another thing which actually stuck with me is more of a personal care, and scheduling that on the calendar. I love the idea.
True.
Yes. And allowing it to be appointment with yourself. Now, here's the thing I always tell folks with that, right? If it pops up, and I don't know, you're feeling a certain kind of way in that moment to do it, you don't get to delete it though. You have to reschedule it, right? So make that appointment with yourself. I also think it does this. It makes us feel a little more comfort in knowing when someone asks you to do something like, "Oh, I have an appointment." You don't have to tell them it's an appointment with yourself for
Yeah.
your self care, but it gives
Yes.
you more courage to actually say, "Can't do that right now. I have an appointment." And so
Oh,
yeah, it helps us feel a little more courageous to say no, because saying no, even respectfully saying no to someone, can sometimes make us feel uncomfortable.
yeah, like they can say some few things to somehow like tease you and
Mhm.
whatnot, like yeah,
Yes, make you
criticize
feel
you. So
bad for it. Yeah, exactly, Phil. You're so right. And the other thing with that is many times people do that back to us because they're feeling a certain kind of way that they don't have an appointment with themselves to work out or to, get out of the house or special time with your partner, whatever that might be. It's like they feel that way. So they want to make you feel bad because you're doing it. Right. And so you're exactly right. Yes. Mm.
and the word itself, it sounds urgent.
Yes, well, because it is. Your
Yeah,
self-care should be a priority in your life, right? You owe that to yourself to make it a priority. So most definitely. Hmm. Well, thank
agree.
you.
All right. And we have here a comment from YouTube Live, Sunny. As a corporate manager, I use AI powered scheduling tools that prioritize my tasks and manage my calendar efficiently and really help me maintain work life balance. So, yeah, that's the comment we have so far on YouTube. And yes, Simeon, AI powered scheduling tools are very efficient to use nowadays. It has helped me maintain work life balance. Yes. And that's completely the thought of the first topic that we have today. All right. So, hoping you have additional questions, definitely. Or if you want to park it later, you can search Davi on LinkedIn. She's very responsive. You can send her a connection invite, like a DM. Yes, if you have some other things you wanted to discuss with her offline. All right. And we can move up like anything happening in the future in like in a few days. You have some you can tell us about your website, the launching, or if you have online events, anything you'd like to promote, Davi.
Now I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat my LinkedIn so you can easily find me. Davy Machen's pretty unique. And my savvydavi.com is my website. And so, as I mentioned, I just launched that. No, I hope that you decide to visit it. And there's a contact page where you can stay in contact with me, receive future information. But I encourage you to do either one. So thank you so much, Phil. I appreciate it.
Yes, and thank you so much as well for sharing that very thoughtful information. Like it's like it can be common, like using the word appointment, but it can be used in a better way. Also, like to yourself. So it's has really like involved me with that. So I'm gonna add that to the practice. Thank you. All right. So what a wonderful first topic that we have today. So I'll go on introducing the second topic that we have. And this is related to AI as well. So the next topic is generative AI. So evolution and where it is heading. And about the topic, our speaker will go briefly through like evolution of Gen AI and then dive into the application of Gen AI into various different fields and industry verticals. So one of it is already discussed in the first topic, like how it's being applied, definitely, and we will hear more of that. And to share with us with this topic is Rohit Sinha, which is a VP and global leader of cloud and modernization, and strategic technology leader and trusted advisor to CXOs with close to 30 years of experience in software product development, cloud migration, and cloud based solutions, and has a proven track record of delivering enterprise level consulting services across diverse global industries, deep expertise in R&D, product management, engineering solution, consulting, and corporate strategy. And let's welcome uh, Rohit Sinha for the second topic that we have today. Hello, sir, and I hope you're doing great today.
Doing great. Thanks, Phil, for that introduction. Thanks for having me here. So as you introduce the topic itself, evolution and where it is heading, it's a nice segue from what Davi has spoken about, how to use AI and all that. I'll probably extend that a little bit beyond just our work area because AI has been out for quite some time. And if I tell you, AI can actually cure disease now. I don't know how many of you are aware, but Jennifer Doudna and Emmanuel Carpenter won Nobel Prize in chemistry in 2020 for their CRISPR. It's a genome editing technology. And this CRISPR has been approved, or one of the application of CRISPR been approved by FDA for cyclical cell disease, to cure cyclical cell disease by genome editing. And when I read this, I said, it's just fabulous. I mean, we can see application of AI and where it is heading. I mean, this is just the beginning. Um, and I have been already reading through where all CRISPR can be used. And if you see, and if you have been following FDA approval cycles and all that, going from a concept or a proof of concept, so to speak, in the medicinal side, and to get FDA approval in 3 years is just groundbreaking. A typical average cycle is 10 years. So get this approval in just 3 years shows what is possible going forward using AI and using any of the technology that comes in future. So I'll quickly move forward into AI and generative AI, so to speak. But then it is important to understand the overall evolution. And I'll probably briefly talk about some of the time which is on the left of this particular chart, what you're saying. It's not on the chart. I will connect here and then talk about generative AI. But believe it or not, AI started in 1956. And when I read about this, I said, I've never heard of it growing up. Not that I'm that old, but 1956, it's before my time. And I've never heard of it. And when it came into being, it was heavily funded by government agencies and all that. But then the application could not come out until recently. And the reason being, as all of us know right now, that to perfect a model, it requires iteration. It requires iteration. It requires iteration in a fast manner. Because you take one iteration, you try something, and then based on the result, you adjust and then run another iteration. And the reason for iteration taking long was hardware limitation, which very recently it has increased multifold. So from 1956 until 1990, there were a lot of investment. But 1990, after seeing no progress, a lot of funding has dried down. That decade from 1990 to around 2000, nothing much happened. But then between 2000 and 2017, people started dabbling with machine learning. People started dabbling with deep learning. And in 2017, transfer architecture came into play. And that was kind of groundbreaking, and it actually gave way for generative AI. The reason being the large set of data that can be stored and referenced in a quick succession. That is what was enabled by this transformer architecture. And that gave way to our generative AI. And then we can come into this particular chart, what I'm sharing right now. So if you come here, the inflection point was when the ChatGPT came into play. So there was a ChatGPT release in 2022, but then ChatGPT 4, it was somewhere around March or Q1 2023. That's the inflection point, and there was a lot of interest from a lot of people. If you see closely this particular chart, this actually resembles Gartner's hype cycle. If you're aware, it goes up and then goes down and then come back up. It resembles, but not quite similar, because it went down and then came back up almost at the same level as the initial hype. So there is something different about this. The point I'm trying to make is this is a direct reflection of interest from individual, interest from company, interest from various different product builders and LLM builders as well, because you're seeing a lot of different large language model getting released. This is the overall market size of generative AI. When I'm saying market size, what I mean by this is how much money industry is actually spending on it. In 2025, it is expected to be 62.7 billion. And it is almost double from last year, which is 2024. That is the expectation. As you can see, it is expected to increase by a CAGR of 46.47%. And US being the largest market of this, contributing to almost 1/3 of the global market. So any spending, what you're seeing, 1/3 is coming from US. At Genpact, what we have done is we have actually conducted survey of 550 executives, asking them, where do you think generative AI can be used? What are your 3 business benefit that you want to take? And there are like multiple questions out of it. And then we have taken the response and then divided that into 4 quadrants. What are the quick wins, and then low-hanging fruit, and so on and so forth. I'm taking 3 trends out of this, and I will dig just a tiny bit deeper into this. I'll talk about improving customer engagement. I'll talk about enhancing creativity and innovation, and I'll talk about productivity and efficiency in software development lifecycle. So those are the 3 topics I will be going through. There are a lot of other topics on this. If you want to connect, I'll be more than happy to speak to you or fill you in what we discovered. Or there is a link here, and I can post it on our website, Genpact's website. You can read through the complete report. Let's talk about improving customer engagement. And this is typically in the call center kind of setting. And not only call center in the sense of when you make a phone call. It can be through chat, it can be through email, it can be through SMS. It can be any channel. You can expect, as a customer, you can expect more personalized recommendation, because now the agent who is talking to you is more informed. They have all the context, because now my AI is capable of summarizing everything, all your interaction, and they are able to provide you that service which is extremely personalized to you and for you. AI is not only able to do sentiment analysis by saying whether your sentiment is positive, negative, or neutral. It is able to predict the mood as well, which means they're saying, okay, things are, and during the conversation, and this is all real, we have it in working. When you're talking to a customer care executive, it is real time saying that how the conversation is trending. Not only the talk, but your chatbot can give you similar level of service. I mean, few years back, when you give or question to a chatbot, a canned answer came back. And most of the people will get the similar canned answer. Today, that answer can be very specific to your question, very specific to your context, and so on and so forth. So improving productivity for that matter, like Davi was mentioning, you are spending probably half an hour on a call when you have an issue with a product or a service. That same call can be finished in 15 minutes now instead of 30 minutes. Imagine what else you can do with that time, like Davi was mentioning. So, and right now, from an agent point of view, the chatbots or chat through chat interface, we could have one agent working in different languages. I'm an English speaking, but I can type in English. It can real time convert it or translate it into Spanish. From other side, a Spanish speaking customer can interact with me. Same thing was few years or probably a year ago was not possible in voice interaction. but ChatGPT 4.0 enabled that, where a real-time voice translation can be done. My own voice can be created in a different language. If I give enough samples, then it will be my voice, but in a different language, which I never learned to speak. ChatGPT 4.0 actually can do that and in real time. Let's talk about enhance creativity and innovation. There are few areas I've mentioned, exactly four on this particular slide, but I'll not get into details of each. I'll just briefly cover few. Video and imaging. Imagine when you are creating a storyboard, from a storyboard creating a production quality video. You do not have to actually spend time on the tool. You can just create a storyboard, feed it into generative AI, and that can actually create a video for you. It can actually take existing video and take a concept and then create entire live video. I'm sure all of us have heard about deepfake, right? There's a lot of negative connotation associated with deepfake. But imagine a positive spin to the technology. And that was the main intention of why that technology was actually created, where you can train a model to create somebody else's video by using a mock video. When I say mock video, if I want a star in my video, I can shoot a video of myself and then take a sample of that star video and then recreate that star video, which I have shot with myself, right? Imagine a positive use of this. How much time do we spend in creating ad videos, right? So first of all, you have to get all the production crew in place, all the equipment. You have to book an appointment with the star and so on and so forth, right? Now imagine that shoot happened. You go into the editing room and you said, you know what? This thing is not looking right. We will have to reshoot some portion of it. Imagine now with using generative AI, you do not have to bother the star again. You just have to seek their consent, saying, you know what, this particular thing is not looking right. If you're okay, we do not want you to come back for reshoot, but we will shoot it, and using your other video, we will generate it. And if they give you the consent, you're all good. Save their time, save your time as well, because you can do it on demand. You do not have to depend on their schedule and so on and so forth, right? Talking about music, generative AI can create music for you. There is a OpenAI MuseNet model which can be utilized to generate the music. If you know a composer, or you can train your own model with your own style, and then you can generate the music yourself, which is completely unique to you. If you can, and most of the time you'll be spending, let's say without generative AI, you're spending a lot of time in thinking about what mood you want to present and so on and so forth. But if you train the model according to your context, according to your mood and so on and so forth, generative AI can actually generate music file for you. Similar thing goes for creative writing and product design and prototyping and such. Then I'll talk about SDLC, our software engineering. We all know that cost of software engineering is going high, going up every now and then. A lot of legacy technology in deployment. A lot of businesses are dependent, believe it or not, a lot of mainframe is still there, right? Now, there is not a lot of people who actually know those pieces of code. And that's where this rumor-driven development comes into play, where somebody knows somebody who knows the code, right? Not a lot of people out there who can read and understand that legacy code. The kind of work that is required today give rise to a lot of cognitive overload. There's lack of automation, and then there is a repetitive, mundane manual work. And all of these are increasing the software engineering cost. So we have an opportunity to use generative AI and then automate a lot of different processes, right? Nowadays, you can abstract the complexity of not only writing stories, not only writing the requirements, but you could write the code as well. Not only that, you can actually automate your testing and automate a lot of mundane tasks. In fact, very recently, when we were talking to one of our client and they were handing off few of the applications to us, and we went through hours and hours of training, right? And we have recorded all of those training. And when this training happened, of course, the team was on the ground, but then we have to expand the team. And any new joinee, if you want them to come and go through this hours and hours of video, first of all, it is very dry. You actually lose the context of what is going on those video because it's not same as somebody coming in front of you. What we have done is we have used generative AI to summarize all of those video in the form of text. And not only that, we have actually created a chapter that actually marked each and every video, saying if you're interested in this particular topic, go to this particular video, that particular timestamp, and so on and so forth. Not only it accelerated the upskilling, the training process, the onboarding process, but we have seen that a lot of the existing people who were in the training to begin with, not the video watchers, but other people, they have started going back to this particular page where we have posted all this video with summary and the timestamp and all that because they are able to recall it very easily. They're able to go and say, you know what, I know that we went through this particular topic when we were in that room, but I do not recall all too well what it was. Now they do not have to sift through hours and hours of video. It is all tagged for them. They can go and look at it. So it was pretty impressive what this generative AI could do for us in that time frame, and it has improved the productivity quite a bit. Overall, if we look at software SDLC productivity, we have seen 40% of the cost saving. Whether we are talking about backlog management, we are talking about maintenance, we are talking about release management, and so on and so forth. If we combine all the activity together and we can quantify, we have seen 40% increase in productivity. And that's pretty impressive as compared to initially what we have seen the software development cost or software engineering cost was rising. This is the first time we have seen a way when we can reduce the software engineering cost. So now from here on, we will actually go and talk about where it is heading. If you have seen CES 2025 note from NVIDIA CEO, and I really like this representation of where it is going. We started here, and then we went to here, generative AI. We are going to agentic AI. I mean, just in a layman's term, when I talk about generative AI, it's pretty much one transaction. You ask a question, it generates the content and give it back to you. You could potentially, in the same context, ask another question, but there is a human in the loop. Agentic AI is you have agent or maybe set of agent that is able to understand the response from the customer or response from people interacting with it, and able to provide a solution. You do not need anybody else to intervene. Any of the examples I've provided earlier can be applied to this. One of the example, like I said, customer care, right? Customer care, your chatbot, it's not a single transaction, right? You say, um, I'm looking for to dispute a transaction that I did on this particular date. It can give you all the transaction on that particular date. And then it can also, based on certain intelligence factor, it can say, are you looking for that particular transaction, and so on and so forth. It can, the point is, it can do more than just one iteration of the work. From the code generation as well, you give the requirement, it actually divides or break that down into stories, not only stories. It can generate the code. It can not only generate the code, it can do the testing, write the test cases, not only write the test cases, it can do the test data, and so on and so forth. And it can take it all the way to the deployment. You may want to do it using a single agent, or you may want to create a agent that is specialized. And then all this agent can talk to each other. So you have farm of agents who are talking to each other like different developers, or like live agent or human being sitting together and then collaborating. Like that, you can create agent who are talking to each other and interacting with each other to create. And physical AI, obviously, self-driving is, we have seen it in life right now. They are on the road. I've used it myself, and it has evolved multifold in last 1 year, and I'm very pleased to see how it has evolved. That we can pretty much rely on the self-driving technology. But similar thing can be extended to manufacturing. From that point of view, right now you can say, oh, robotics is there in manufacturing. What else we can do? But how about our inventory management? Is it directly connected to my assembly line? How about order booking? Can we backtrack to order booking, to inventory management, to manufacturing, to delivery, and so on and so forth? Can all of those things be integrated? And that's what I'm talking about when you get into the physical world. Just one last slide, same thing as the first one. What I did is this green line, what you're seeing is the physical AI, and the orange line that you're seeing at the bottom is the agentic AI. And this is all Google trend. This is where, or January, when this thing was announced, or the previous slide was presented in CES in January, and you can see there is a spike in those searches. Time will tell whether it is going to stick or it is going to die down. But my prediction is probably it's going to stick, and there will be more application of agentic AI and physical AI you will see. With that, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Rohit. So, like, the physical AI give me a memory of the movie I saw, like Megan. So that doll being prompted with AI and learned everything.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
there are a
it's
lot of those sci-fi movies.
yeah, yeah, true. So they exaggerate some few things, but yeah, it can be scary. All right. So, well, thank you so much, Davi. So for the benefit of the viewers, so I have came up with a query or a question out of curiosity. Like for professionals, using AI is like you can utilize it in your own advantage, like in a professional setup or professional world. So, but like being like AI being used by students, or maybe especially on those like grade schools, or just starting up their journey on the academics, like having AI at their disposal, like would it be something that will make them lazy, or it will help them be more efficient? So will
I
that
mean,
be shared?
yeah, I mean, my take is it will probably make them more effective. again, it depends on personal and person and personalities, um, how they use it. If they use it to uh, for their submission and all that. But then, as Davi was mentioning, what do you do with this extra time? Do you actually utilize it to be more productive? Do you utilize it to do things what you always wanted to do? Or for in students' case, do you utilize those extra time to learn something new? Those things will define um, whether you are learning more or learning less.
True.
Yeah, I also think, and I said this a little bit in chat, I mean, we've got to look over time. Our world is changing. We have to change how we help our students to learn, right? I mentioned about doing things with my grandchildren. They're 2.5 years old. They're being exposed to things that I wasn't exposed to as a child, but they're part of our world. So if we say, should we do this? Should we do that? Well, guess what? We're going to do it. So now let's change how we test. Let's change how we ensure there's learning. Let's include AI in the learning and make sure that we're doing it differently. I think we have people that resist new technology, and we got to stop doing that, right? Let's do it the right way and ensure that we're including ways to learn using these resources. The example I put in there is, look, I'm dating myself again, but I go back to thinking about in college where we had this discussion where the instructor was resistant on some of the new calculators. And he's like, I want you to be able to do it. I'm like, but can't we have both? Can't I prove to you what I can do on my own that will meet the criteria of the course? And then also use my resources, because if the resource isn't going away, don't push away from it, include it. And let's elevate how we help people learn using the new tools. That's just my opinion, of course.
Very agreeable.
Yeah. I mean, but you bring up a great point. It makes it feels a little scary. It's like, oh no, we're doing this now. Or I'll have people go, oh, but you didn't do that. AI did. And I'm like, we did it together. What do you need me to provide for you to understand that this is communicating what I wanted to say, just maybe a little bit more eloquently,
Mhm.
and added some things that I didn't think of? What do we need to talk about to get there together so you can feel confident in my abilities? So I think there's just a whole conversation there of changing how we assess what work was done and how we got there.
Exactly. Because it came up to my mind because I have a share of experience myself with some university professors. Like we will be using an AI checker and also like and all sorts just to make sure that like you are passing like you are giving me your submissions not using AI, like just by yourself. So even though like the students can definitely prove as what Navi was sharing that they know the process. It's just they wanted it to like make be more efficient and have more time on the other things. So but yeah. All right. So for those who are listening or will be watching this recorded session, heed those words. Definitely, it will help. So you can voice out as well. And both answers are very agreeable. Thank you. And we have, yeah, Sandy here. This is for both speakers. Uh, so since you both talk about AI, I'd like to know your thoughts on consumer privacy. How can companies innovate while protecting users' personal data, and what can users do to keep their privacy safe? So, Davi already shared her thoughts. I'll read that one after Rohit. Yeah, if you can share your thoughts.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, so first of all, most of these LLMs are built on publicly available data, right? Second, at least in our company and in my experience, whenever we have data that is procured not publicly, first of all, if it is specific to somebody, we always get consent from them. Second, we anonymize It's not or, it's and. So it's a double layer protection where we are seeking the consent as well, and then anonymizing all the data before we take it anywhere near to this AI or language model or even use for training. When we are creating our custom model, we actually anonymize entire data set so that it can never go back.
All right. And for Davi's share, she mentioned that her organization have increased their security and has been helping companies to keep their environment secure while using AI. Because that's one of the primary concerns due to like history of data breaches before, right? So yeah, that's really fantastic to hear. Thank you. All right, and we have a comment on YouTube like learning new or less, it will be your choice.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, very fascinating topics that we have today about AI. But yes, definitely, like everything's moving forward. So you don't stay at one place, you have to go along. All right. So, okay, let me just check. Any more questions from the attendees you'd like to ask while they are still here? Or you can keep on the links and connect with them on their social media, like on LinkedIn. So you can just search their name or click on the links there. So for Davi, you can just use her name. It's posted on the screen. It is visible on the YouTube screen on the recorded session. So you can use that to find her on LinkedIn and add a connection invite. And for Rohit as well, make sure to send a connection invite and send them a message. All right.
And Phil, I'm speaking in Mobile Magazine as a keynote on 4th. If anybody is interested, they can join in. And I'll post a link here, but they can, once they connect with me on the LinkedIn, they will be able to discover um, the details about the keynote, which I'll be delivering. The topic is cloud and 5G.
Cloud and 5G. All right. For those who are in the field of cloud, uh, this you can actually connect with Rohit for this about this talk or this seminar that will be happening in a few days. So make sure you can attend this one and have the informations on his profile. All right. And for those who missed this wonderful session that we have today, this recorded session will be uploaded on the Let Us Talk It YouTube page. So make sure to watch it later. And also, you can share it in your socials. So we have additional visibility of our great speakers who have joined in today in this initiative. And who knows, they'll get more talk about these topics and so on. Like it becomes a chain of initiative. So, all right. So let's actually work and put into consideration that there are some who wanted to learn as much as we do, but they don't have the leisure or the ability to like buy those lessons and all that, and I have this kind of free webinars like this kind of free webinars knowledge. It's not just information being shared here, also the uh fruitful experiences of our guest speakers, so that I'm thank you. All right, let's all thrive in 2025 as for Davi. All right, that goes for everyone. All right, so I think that marks the end of today's session, and we want to uh, give our great thanks to our guest speakers today, Rohit and Davi. Thank you so much, really, for joining in this initiative. We are very pleased and honored to have you in this platform, and hoping for like future talks, definitely, and for different topics. All right, so and with that, thank you so much, attendees. Thank you so much for your valuable time, and we would like to invite you again. So this webinar happens every Wednesday So next Wednesday, we will be bringing two new speakers and two new topics that we'll be sharing. Again, it's completely free, so bring your friends along and join in the Zoom webinar sessions to interact with our guest speakers. You will absolutely be charged nothing. All right. So make sure to take advantage. And this is goodbye for now. End of today's session. Thank you so much, everyone. Keep safe as always from Let Us Talk It team. Take care and goodbye for now. Thank you so much, Davi and Rohit.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Take care.